everyone. It's awesome to be here with you. It's amazing. I've been here participating on Devoxx Ukraine even before, right? It was not even called Devoxx Ukraine yet. So it was awesome to be here with you, and I'm honored to be invited again. So one thing I want to do is that I want to beat this. I want to make this very, very interactive, right? So I'm actually gonna move here in Rocket. So if you're in Rocket right now, I want you to go to the session in Rocket, and it's happening right now, right? Build a developer career that will give you freedom and purpose. So go there and say hello in the chat, right? We want to make this very, very interactive because it's not about only sustainability. It's about your career, right? It's about you. It's about what you want to do, right? So I really want to do. Actually, I'm just gonna pause here for a minute so I don't see myself thousands of times, right? So I want you to go there and just say hello in the chat, right? So so we can actually get that. So I see Nikita saying hello. All right, so good, awesome. So come on, say hello there. I have to click here every time there's a new message, so I'm gonna be clicking a lot here. All right, so I see hello. So hey, Martin Vargas, so Ivan, right? Okay, awesome. So we have a good communication channel here. I might need to be clicking here a lot to actually see everyone. So I see Semyon, Arlen, awesome, good. Piotr, Augustinas, awesome. Okay, that's great. Okay, so we're all here. Timo Frey, Arbo, awesome. Okay, good. So basically what I want to do is that, we want to talk here about lots of important things for you and your career, right? So, it's the whole discussion about sustainability, although it's a great, sometimes we miss the big picture, right? How can we actually help the planet? How can we help our companies? How can we help our families, right? If if we don't know what's going to happen to our career, right? If you're afraid of change, if you're afraid that we're going to lose our job, if you're afraid that we're not going to make enough money, right? So building a sustainable career, right? It's very, very important for everything that we're going to do. So that's what we're going to talk about here today, right? Something that I want to start asking you is, for you to build a really great career, right? You have to think about what is that you want to do, right? What is your biggest objective? What's the biggest thing that you want to do for yourself, right? For you, for your family. So I want you to, and I'm going to help you here do exactly what's important for you, right? So I want you to tell me on the chat, right? So there's a lot of messages here in the chat. So thanks a lot for that, guys. So I want you to tell me on the chat, what is your biggest objective, right? So where do you want to get, right? What is the thing that's really going to make a big difference for you, right? I really want to discuss what's really, really important for you. So tell me on the chat, what's your biggest result, right? So I see Vitaly. So hi, Bruno. Thanks for seeing Devoxx Ukraine again. So thanks a lot, Vitaly. Awesome. Okay, so tell me on the chat, what's your dream? What's the bigger thing that you want to help, that you want to happen in your life? Well, how far do you want your career to go, right? Or at least what's the next step, right? So what's the biggest thing that you want to happen next year, right? So for you, what would be an awesome result next year? Because I want to help you with that, right? And so, yes, I see some people already saying this. I'm going to read this in a minute. Be productive, says Timothy. Okay, awesome. But why, Timothy? Why do you want to be productive, right? Just to be productive, right? Because you want to do things faster, you want to do things better, but for what, right? Because if you do the wrong things faster, that's not very good, right? So, biggest objective. But we can talk a little bit about being productive too. Okay, so tell me what's your biggest dream for next year? And if you want to go ahead, tell me, what do you think is the biggest challenge, or the biggest thing that prevents you from achieving that, right? So, for example, Timothy says be productive. What's preventing you from being productive, right? Mikolas, so complete a project. So, what's preventing you from completing a project, right? Bring a added value. Okay, so Ilya, can I say Ivanov only because it's easier for you to say Ilya, right? Ilya, what's what is adding value for you, right? So to be more specific, guys, to be more specific, because I want to help you specifically what you're trying to do, right? So what is bring value for you, right? What does that even mean to bring value? Bring value to what? To you, to your family, to your company? What is that, right? So Seri says, I'd like to contribute to the developer community, right? As a developer, can make the world a better place. Yes, that's awesome, right? So you wanna build a better community, right? So that's a great thing. Okay, so what's preventing you, Siri, to build a better community right now, right? So my biggest objective. So Nikita says a long thing here. My biggest objective is to be geographically free so I can stay close to my family and friends, right, who live in multiple locations. That's awesome. That's a great, so that's a great dream right there, Nikita. That's awesome, because then we can think about how to do that. Awesome, right? Keep earning enough money around myself. That's great. Keep bringing high value to society. All right. So the only thing that you're saying here is what is high value to society, right? This has to be a little bit more specific, right? So that's great. So let's see, Luis says, make my company sustainable, right? I should profit from products and services. So is that your company, Luis, or is that no? So you work for a big company, or that's your company? Right? You're the owner of the company. So tell me about that, right? Timofey say the day is limited to 24 hours. Yes, that's great, man. But it's limited for all of us, right? So, so Semyon says career grow, right? So do you have a specific challenge about your career growth, Semyon? Nikita says, my skills are not up to the market, right? So I cannot really work in remote jobs while keeping my family's lifestyle. Okay, good, right? I'm working on that, but it takes time. Okay, that's a good thing. And Nicola says complete project. Okay, so we have lots of good information there. Design in order to influence the fate of people, not only to earn money, right? But also teach someone. The most important is a relationship. I love that, Sergey. I totally agree with you. The most important thing that we can do is the relationship, right? Because I totally agree with that, right? So we can get there's a saying, you can get anything you want in life if you help other people get what they want in life, Sergey. So that's awesome. I totally agree with that. So I'm going to see some more message here. And so create a passive income stream. That's awesome. We're going to talk about this, Ivan. That's great, man. Okay. Nikita says, well, I pay a ton of taxes, right? So nurses and doctors can get better salaries in these hard days. That's good. Okay. Awesome. I own a small part of the company. Okay. So you own a company, man. So that's great. Awesome. Okay. So whoever else want to say anything, come on, say something here in the chat, because we want to make this very interactive. So, right. So for all the things, I'm going to try to answer all those questions. If there's anything that I miss, I'm going to come back and answer everything. Okay. So, so the one important thing that we just did here, right, is, we start talking about what can we do to improve, right? But for us to think about, so someone here said, I want to be more productive, right? There's only 24 hours in a day. But the question is, be productive for what, right? That's the most important question you can ask yourself. What do you want to do? What's your objective that you have, right? And there's two types of objective we have to talk about here today. One is like, it's like clear things that you want to do, right? So for example, Nikita says, I need to make more money, for example, right? Or I want to travel remotely, right? So that is a type of question that is very, very important because it's very specific, right? It is something that we really need to understand because we can only go after goals that are very specific. We can't go after goals that are like wishy-washy or that we don't really know what it is. When you say, for example, I want to make the planet better. That's great, right? It's awesome that you want to make the planet better, but what does that even mean, right? So if you don't know what it means, if you don't know what can you do, then how can you do anything, right? You're not going to be able to do it. It's like a customer comes to you and say, "Oh, I want a software to solve my problem." It's like, what, right? What do you want, right? What's the software needs to do? How is it going to solve the problem? What's the problem to begin with, right? So, you can't really reach out goals, right? So someone said here, for example, I need to finish a project. I hope you know which project you want to finish, right? But if you don't know which project you want to finish, so then it's like a crazy goal that you cannot achieve because it's not right. So the most important thing when we talk about purpose, right? There's when you talk about purpose, that's what we're going to be talking a lot about here today. When you talk about purpose, you have to know what, right? So be specific, right? But there's two types of things that we're going to do. One is the specific thing, is the what, right? What I'm going to do, right? So how I'm going to save the planet, how I'm going to improve, I'm going to improve developer communities, how I'm going to make more, actually make more money is a good thing, right? Make the planet better by posting more kittens photos to Facebook, right? Kittens are cool. Awesome, Nikita. That's great, right? So make people's life better, right? By having nice things to see instead of all this whining and complaining that we see on Twitter those days, right? So that's great. So, but you have the what is very specific, right? This is very important. It's very important for you to go after something. You have to be very specific, right? So for example, if you want to improve a community, you want to say, I want to get 100 people in my developer community by the end of the month, right? That would be a specific and clear goal. I want to increase the number of people in my community. Someone said, so I want to add value. Add value is very unspecific. You don't know what it is, but you can say, I'm going to add value to my company by speeding the application in 10% in the next 6 months. That's a really clear objective that you have, right? So things that we call that is very specific that we can go after, that we can take action on. Those are our whats, right? Those are our goals. Okay, our goals are what goals, right? It's what I'm gonna do. But when you talk about purpose, there's another type of goals that's also very important, and they are more generic, right? And that is why, right? For purpose is a combination of what we want to do, right? Plus why we want to do. Actually, the why is more important, right? So purpose is a combination of why we want to do something, plus what is specific that we're going to do, right? Purpose cannot be dissociated from those two things, right? Because if there is a why but you don't act on it, then there's nothing, right? But if you're acting on something but you don't know why you're doing that, then it's not helpful either, right? So every time you think about all those things you guys, and I see there's more message there. I'm gonna get the message in a minute, but I know every time you think about my life, when people tell you, oh, what's your life's purpose, right? Or I need to find my life's purpose. I need to define my life's purpose. I was just talking about in the panel earlier today that a purpose is something that you already have, right? Purpose is something that you build along all your life, right? So you actually move your life and you do things, you learn things, you meet people, you get inspired by things, right? So all of these are ways for you to it builds your purpose along your life, right? So when you are about your early 20s, right, your purpose is already defined, right? It's funny that like this, but yes, the reason, the why, a part of your purpose is already defined, right? So the reason, the why you do things, the things that you believe. Why is the things that I believe, right? So in your early 20s, right? Your why, what you believe, it's already pretty much defined, right? So you're probably gonna just kind of improve those things in your life, right? You're just gonna refine that in your life. But no, your why is built in your childhood, right? Since you're young. So now, and that's why we call our purpose finding our purpose. We don't say defining our purpose, right? Because our purpose already exists, right? Unless you're very young, your purpose already exists, right? It's the things that you believe, right? You believe are true. You believe you want that, right? And so that's why we talk about finding our purpose. We're going to talk a little bit more about finding your purpose. But I want you to understand that, the things that you believe, right? a little bit abstract, right? Because those are the things that you believe. So for example, I believe, right, in empowering people like you, right, developers and anyone like you, right, so you can go after your own path. That's what I believe, right? And so everything that I do is based on what I believe. But notice when I say I believe in empowering you to go after your own path, what does that even mean, right? It means a lot to me because I know what that means, right? But what does it mean to you? Right? You don't know. You don't. So now, so one thing that I do is I help developers like you improve your skills, right? So you can become a better developer and you can work on the most amazing projects, right? So that's my what. That's what I do. Now it makes more sense, right? So if I can help you improve your development skills so you can work on the jobs you want, so Nikita can work remotely, so and then she can be closer to her family and friends, right? That's a great thing. So that's a right. So I want you to understand there's two things that you have to think about: why you do things, and that is a little bit more generic, right? It's a little bit more abstract, right? But and then the things that you really do, the what things that you do, right? We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But I want you to think a little bit about that, right? About what you want to do, and they have to be very specific, right? So, for example, I have a mentoring program that helps developers like you improve your skills so you can work in the most. So it's very specific, right? It's very, very specific. But also, for example, I also wrote a book, right? It's called The Best Developer Job Ever. Right, so Nikita, you want to work remotely? You want to work near your family? So I wrote a book, right? It's like a real book, right? I wrote a book specifically to help you, Nikita. So that's another what. It's very specific. It's a book. It's very, very, very specific, right? It's not something generic. It's not like what I believe, right? So the book, the mentoring, the trainings, this talk here to help you improve your life, this talk, all of these are specific things that I do, right? That are all aligned with why I do it. Because my why is I believe in helping people, in empowering people so they can go after and they can achieve their own path. They can forge their own path. That's what I believe, right? I believe that you can go after and forge your own path yourself. Right, so there's a big difference. Now, when I say that, is abstract. When I say that I wrote a book to help Nikita work remotely, now you know what I'm talking about, right? I'm empowering Nikita, a specific person, right, to get her specific dream of working remotely by writing a book, right? So I want you to think about that because everything that we do in life has this combination of what we believe, my why I do things, and the what, the specific things that I do to move forward. Make sense? All right, let me take a look here, a little bit more of the message here. Make the planet better by post. Oh, yeah, that's what I saw that. Then Siri says, mentor junior developers, encourage people to switch careers in IT, right? Also encourage women to learn IT. That's great. So that's a very specific things, right? That's awesome, right? Nikita says Keaton was a joke, right? But yes, it was measurable. It was measurable and realistic, right? Much better than making the world a better place. Exactly, Nikita. That's exactly what we want. I know it was a joke. I understood it was a joke, but it's specific, right? So it's something that you can do, right? Even though it was a joke, but it's an actionable joke, right? Making a world a better place, even though it's serious, it's not actionable, right? And so if something's not actionable, how can you do it, right? How can you actually go there and change the planet if it's not actionable? The specific thing, the what you do is very specific. It's actionable. It's something you can go after, right? Like, for example, mentoring junior developer, right? So there's someone who just mentioned that, right? Very good point, Bruno. Thanks, Serhi. Why making a world a better place is realistic? No, it's not real. It's not about realistic or not. It's about being actionable or not, right? making a world a better place. It's a great dream. It's a great why, right? I believe in making a world a better place. It's a great why, right? Now, it's not concrete. It's not something you can act on, right? It's a great belief. I believe that, I believe that I should help people so they're a better place. That would be a great why. But it's not about being realistic or not, right? It's not specific. So Nikita says it's not specific and it's not possible to measure it, right? It's a good intention, but you might start going in the wrong way if you don't make more specific. You don't know what to do. It's not even that you go to the wrong place, right? It's that you have no idea. It's not actionable, right? We need to make things actionable. Being specific, make feedback loop almost immediate, right? Fail fast approach that will allow you to keep adjusting and actually make your work better. Yes, that's great. Compared to find out in 1 year time that you're going the wrong direction. Yeah, so Nikita talked about a lot about going the wrong direction, right? But it's not. It's a book. It's very specific. Say Stefan. Thanks, Stefan. Thanks for being here, man. So guys, Stefan is the guy that created the Devoxx events, right? He also created this awesome platform that we're using here to do the chat, right? To actually run the event, Rocket. So give him a thumbs up right there, right? So thanks a lot, man. We're going to announce best speakers just after Bruno's talk, right? So please vote for his talk if you like his talk. Okay, so just don't even know if you like it or not. Just go and vote because it's going to be right after me, right? So, all right, good. Yes, the book is the best developer job ever. Yes, thanks very much. Okay, so, all right. Okay, so now we're talking a little bit about purpose. So I want you to understand that the purpose is this combination of the non-specific thing that you believe, right? I mean, it's specific, but it's got a little bit abstract, right? It's a little bit abstract. It's hard to say. That's why most people don't know how to put their why in words, right? The why is very hard to put in words because it's abstract, right? It's something that you believe. It's very hard to put out what we believe in words. But what we do, it's very specific, right? Our goals, our objectives have to be very specific so we can actually go after and figure out ways to implement those goals and to make them reality. Make sense? Now, what this has to do with our careers, right? So, okay, now that we understand that part, so let's apply this to our careers, right? Because our careers are a what. Now, it's very funny that careers are not a why. Careers are a what. It's what we do, right? And so most people know how to say, know what they do, right? They are able to explain what they do. Yeah, I'm a Java developer. I write. My word's kind of little. All right, so I'm a Java developer. I write Java code. I increase the performance of applications. Those are all whats, right? Those are easy things for us to talk about because it's easy to put whats into words because they're specific. It's things that we do, right? And so the purpose is a little bit more ludicrous, right? It's a little bit harder to find because it's more abstract, it's more generic, right? So let's think about career, right? So what is a career, right? A career is a combination of three things, right? So, and you can actually do this, right? You can actually do this in a piece of paper, for example, and think about what is the career that you have or what's the career that you want to have, right? So career is a combination of three things. First is a combination of the things that you like, right? The things that you love, things that you love to do, right? It plays an important part in what a career is, right? Because if you don't love what you do, you probably don't have a career, right? Then there's a bunch of other things, right, that you're good at, right? You're very good at. Right? So Nikita said, for example, that she still needs skills to get a good job, right? So maybe she's not very good in the thing that she does, right? I don't know, but there are lots of things that you're good at. Not everything that you're good at you love, and not everything you love you're good at, right? Maybe you love music, but you don't play music very well, right? Maybe you're very good at financials, right? And you could be a good accountant, but you don't love to do that, right? You just do because you have to, right? Okay. So then there's a third aspect here, that is, the things that pay you money. Okay, not everything that you love pays you money, right? Not everything you're good at pays you money, and not everything that pays you money you're good. So that's the thing, right? So now the important thing here is not, you can do that. A lot of people call this the ikigai. First of all, the ikigai has a fourth circle here. I'm not going to draw that, but even the circle is just a simplification of the ikigai is. But it's a useful simplification. All right, let's imagine here, because the important thing here is not the circles, is the intersections, right? So, for example, something that you're very good, you do very, very well, and people pay you money for, but you don't like, right? That's what it is. That's a job, right? A job is something that you only do because someone is paying you, right? You don't like it enough to do it yourself. You only do because someone's paying you. That's a job, right? Now, if there's something that you're very, very good and you love to do, actually, let me say here, something that you love to do, and something you love to do, you're not very good at. I mean, you love to do, you are very good at, right? But no one pays you money for. That's what we call a hobby, right? A hobby is something that you do because you want to do, not because someone is paying you, right? So maybe you're a very good musician and you love music, but you don't get money for that. For example, I'm a puppeteer. I make puppets and I also manipulate puppets, right? And so people say I'm very good at that, right? So I'm very good at puppeteer, and I love that, right? That's something that I do. I spend actually, I don't make money out of it, but I spend money, right? I buy puppets, I build puppets only for fun, right? So I spend money on that. A hobby is this here, right? And then something that you love to do, right? It's potentially can give you lots of money, but you're not good at, right? What is that? This is a dream. Okay? That's something that you'd love to do, right? You'd love people if people pay you lots of money, but they don't pay you lots of money because you're not good at it. That's a dream, right? So, so now that you know, now look around. Do this in your paper. Do this in a piece of paper, and look around and try to find out where are you in this area, right? Are you doing a hobby? Are you here doing a job, right? Are you here having a dream? Where are you in this area? Put lots of things in this drawing and see where you can get out of this, right? Now, the important thing here is this little intersection right here, right? This little intersection here, and it is little, right? Because it's just a small things that you love to do, you're very good at, and people pay you good money. That is a career, okay? A career is something that it's basically the definition of career is that it's something that you love to do, you're so good at, right? That you would do this for free because you love it so much. But then people pay you, and you're like, I can't believe people pay me to do that, right? That's I would do it for free, right? So that's what a career is, right? So now the important thing is most of us are not here. Most of us don't have a career. That's okay. I want you to understand that a lot of people don't have a career, right? Lots of people have jobs and they're happy with their jobs, right? They go to work, they work on it, and as soon as the clock reaches 5 o'clock, they go home and they go do something else. They go spend the money they make doing their job on their hobbies, for example. And that's all fine. It's all good, right? You don't have to have a career, right? Because a career, it's very involving, right? A lot of people, you might have you might see things like, for example, back from work and you start doing software development again, right? And then maybe your wife or your mom or someone in your family says, no, aren't you crazy? You keep working all over the weekend, right? And you're like, but I love that. It's kind of like for me, right? So, that's what a career looks like something that it's so amazing. You even do it for free because you love to do, right? So that's a career. Now, I'm going to go through the questions. I see lots of more message here, but I'm going to go there in a minute. But so let's think a little bit how we get to a career, right? We get to a career by turning a job into a career, or turning a hobby into a career, or turning a dream into a career, right? So we move wherever we are, right? So choose something that you have, right? So for example, choose your job and turn your job into a career. How do you turn your job into a career? Well, a job is something you're very good at. People pay you money, but you don't love, right? But probably you're very good at it because there is a piece of your job that you love to do, right? So for example, you hate the meetings, but you love code, right? But you hate the coding that you do because it's just like a bank application. You want to do something that changes the planet. So by changing your job to do more of what you love to do and less of the things you don't like, right? So then you move your job into a career. So for example, maybe you go work for a company that saves the planet, right? And then that would be more fulfilling for you than do banking application. And then you're turning your job into a career, right? Because then you would love to do, right? If you have a hobby, right? A hobby is something that that you love to do, you're very good at, but people don't pay a lot of money. Well, go figure it out, right? So Luis, for example, has his own company, right? So go figure out how to make money off the things that you love to do. It's totally possible. It's totally possible to make money out of the things that you love to do, right? So go figure out how to do that. If you have a dream, something that you love to do, it potentially pays lots of money, but you're not very good at, right? So, come on, turn your dream, go learn it, and turn your dream into a career. For example, let's say you love music, right? And you're like, but I'm not a very good musician. Well, you could learn to be a good musician, right? Or you could develop a software for music. And so you move that dream into an area that you're already good at, right? So this is how we build a career. Now, notice that a career, as I said, a career is a what, right? A career is something very specific that you do, right? It's a what, it's not a why. A good reason why people have jobs and not careers is because it's a lot easier for you to do your why, your purpose, the reason why you do things on a hobby, because you control, right? If you have a hobby, for example, me, for example, I'm a puppeteer, right? So I have a hobby, right? And I do whatever I want, right? So I spend as much time as I want building puppets or manipulating puppets. I can spend as much time as I want, right? So it's easy to find my why into a hobby because I'm the one that controls that. So I my puppets to help other people learn things and find their own purpose in life and find their own path, right? That's why I use my puppets for, right? I don't do magic with puppets. I don't do entertainment with puppets. I use puppets to teach, right? So that's what I do. So it's easy to find my why in a hobby, right? And so, but remember, a career is a what? It's a concrete thing, right? So that's why a job sometimes is not fulfilling because you have a concrete thing. It's a job, right? It's something that you do, right? But at the same time, it's not connected to what you believe. So, for example, you might be working, for example, let's say if I have to do a banking software, because I do, right? I have a consulting company and we work. That's why I use banking as an example, right? Because we do a lot of banking software, right? So if I have to do a banking software, and then what's my why? My why is I empower people to build their own path. How do a banking software empowers people to do their own path, right? It's hard. It's hard. That's why a lot of times it's a job, right? It's not connected for a why, right? But if I take my job at working in a banking customer, doing a banking application, and I use that to help the developers of the team to improve their skills so they can become better developers and they can go after their own projects. Oh, okay, so now I'm using my job to do my why, and I'm turning my job into a career. Make sense? Right? I'm connecting my career to my why. Right? So the way for you to have an awesome and fulfilling career is to connect what you do in your career to why you do it. Right? It's not easy every single time, but you can think about that. And if my example is not clear enough, ask questions in the chat, and I'm going to answer that. Okay, so now that we have all these, now we understand what a career is, right? We understand how we can get our careers, we can get our job, our hobby, or our dream, and move and make that into a career, right? So we can start looking at opportunities to do that. And then we understand that what we do is the concrete things that we do, but there is an important part. Our purpose is why we do. It's what we believe, and we have to connect those two things. So right now, if you don't like your job, if you don't like what you do, if you're unhappy with your company, with your project, with whatever it is, the reason probably is because what you do is disconnected with why you do it. Right? And so I'm going to give you, if you're in that situation, I'm going to give you a gift in the end of this talk here, right? In about 15 more minutes, I'm going to give you a gift, right? That's going to help you find your why, right? So you can really plan your life going forward. Okay? All right. So now let me take a look at the message here before I keep going here. All right. So I see mission complete. Both brought. Okay. Thanks a lot. That's awesome. All right. Okay. So, I'm sorry, Nikita. Yes. Okay. That's fine. Okay. No problem, man. All right. Okay. So, Nikita, let me tell you one thing. Look, that's a gift Nikita is giving everyone. Okay. Right. Especially because I misgendered Nikita. Right. So, Nikita is going to give a gift for everyone. Nikita bought my book right now, and it's that book right here, right? It's the book, The Best Developer Job Ever, right? So Nikita just bought that book. If you buy that book right now, it's very cheap, guys. It's like $5. If you buy that book right now and send me an email or tweet, I'm BR Javaman on Twitter. Send me a tweet and say, Bruno, I just bought your book. I'm going to give you for free, just because you're here on Devoxx Ukraine and because Nikita just bought the book, I'm going to give you for free a 45 minutes conversation with me about your career. How about that? So Nikita, you just won a 45 minutes conversation with me about your career, Nikita, so we can make a plan for your career. So go buy the book right now. It costs like $5 on Amazon. I think Amazon is even on promotion, like $3, something like this. Very, very cheap. Buy a book right now and you get for free a conversation with me. Just message me on BR Javaman on Twitter and say, Bruno, I just got your book on Devoxx and I want to get my free conversation with you, right? And it's a conversation I only do for my customers, right? So you got my book, you're a customer. How about that, right? So no, it's a very expensive conversation. You're gonna get that for free. Come on, just do that right now, and that would be awesome. Okay. There are examples. For example, you can empower street food vendors to sell his Portuguese food to people using a QR code to wireless terminal. Okay, Nikita, I'm not sure I'm following you this, right? Now this poor vendor can earn some money as people can conveniently buy food from him instead of going to McDonald's. That's awesome. Yes. Now this person earns money and can support education of his kids. The whole society just profit. That's good. Okay. Better not with me, but I talk to our Java London community. Okay, I'm not really sure. Oh, okay, what the London Java community? The London Java community is a great community. If you're there, that's awesome. Okay, good. Okay, I think I got you all of the message here. But again, Nikita, thanks a lot for your gift that you're giving everyone, right? Because Nikita just bought this book, everyone's going to get that gift, right? So if you do the same thing as he did, buy the Best Developer Job Ever book. First of all, it's going to be great because it's going to give you it's going to give you the 5 steps to get an amazing career and an amazing job, but you're also going to get for free a 1 hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour conversation with me to improve your career. How about that? Okay. All right. Now, let me go a little bit more I want you to understand, right? We're talking about a sustainable career, right? And it's funny enough that when you talk about sustainability, a lot of times we just mention sustainability as like, oh, I want to save the planet. I want to get. Oh, my board needs a little cleaning here. I need to make more money. We think that sustainability is only about saving the planet, right? Oh, it's kind of reducing carbon footprint and all of that. But Nikita gave an awesome example of of you helping, by doing software, you can help the planet, you can help society. So that would be an awesome thing to do. So one thing I want you to understand is that a sustainable career is a career where you make money, right? I know developers don't like to talk about money a lot, right? And then sometimes, oh, but money. A lot of people tell me the money is just a consequence, right? I don't need to think about money. I just need to improve my career. I just need to be better. I just need to improve my skills, and then money is consequence. So one thing I want you to understand: if you want to have a sustainable career, right, you have to think about money. Because if you're not making enough money to do the things that you want to do, then you're not going to be happy with your career, right? Because you're going to be missing, right? For example, maybe I'll tell you the situation, right? So when I started with Java, right, in 1995, I started with the Alpha 2 version of Java, the first public version of Java. I started with that Alpha 2 version. I was not making a lot of money. I was loving what I did. Really, I was loving what I did. I was a Java evangelist. I was traveling around places, but I still was a trainee, right? And so I was not making a lot of money, but I was loving what I did. And so my wife one day come to me and said, "Hey, Bruno, come here. Let's sit down here with me for a minute." And so she was showing me, right, I spent on a trip, right? I was traveling for Sun, and she was saying, "This is how much you spent on the last trip, right? This is how much money you make." And then she said, "Can you see the problem here?" Right? Can you see the problem here? That does not match, right? How much money you spend on your trips does not match how much money you make. And so we have a problem. We don't have enough money at home, right? We don't have enough money to get to put our kids in school, right? We're struggling here, Bruno. We got to do something about that. And then she said, "Not we, you. You got to go do something about it. Go there to Sun and get a raise, right? If you love what you do, go get more money, right?" So that's a reality, guys. If you don't make money, it's not going to be a sustainable career, right? And now I want to, just because Luis asked that question here, he's the owner of the company. Nikita says, "Willing to pay for a heart surgery to help a relative, right? Sometimes money is important too." Well, not sometimes, Nikita. Money is very important, right? Money makes a big difference. So money is not money for itself. That's the problem that people have, right? When you talk about money, people think that we're talking about money for the money's sake. No, it's never money for the money's sake. Money is not a motivation. Money is not a reason. Money is not an objective. Money is a means to an end, right? Money is just for you to say, "Okay, I want to help a relative to do a heart surgery," right? So I want to save the life of a relative, right? Money can allow me to do those things, right? So money is a means to an end, right? So it's the path, right? So I just want to talk really quick about money because I want to use everything we said here just to go back and talk about all the questions you guys have here, right? So, and if you have more questions, it's the right time for you to answer, for you to write it down, because we only have 50 more minutes, right? So Luis said that he's on the company. He needs to make more money for his company. So there's two ways that we need to make money, right? Two ways, right? So form number one is that we make money for things that we will do. Okay? So you can make money for the things that you will do. For example, your job, right? Your job, you make money for the things that you do. You get a monthly salary because you're going to work for the whole company, and then you're going to get a salary, right? So you make money for the things that you will do. For example, if you're a consultant, right, and you charge by the hour, you make money for the things that you will do, right? You know, if I work an hour, the company pays me an hour, right? So that's, a lot of people also call this time for money, right? You trade time versus money, okay? So a lot of people call, you know, making money for the things that you will do, trading time for money. A job that you get money at the end of the month, it's usually trading time for money, right? Someone said, we only have 24 hours a day, so I need to be more productive, right? Because if I'm more productive, I'm going to have more results because I only hours a day. That's when we have the mentality of trading time for money, right? I only have 24 hours, so I can only make enough money for this 24 hours, right? But, you know, there's a lot of people money when they sleep. How do they make money when they sleep? Well, because there's another way of making money, right? There is making money for the things that you already did. Okay? All right? And I found very interesting because we as developers, we make, you know, we know about this, but we forget, right? So for example, making money for things that you already did. For example, Nikita just got me my book, right? And he just went there on Amazon and bought the book, right? So I made money right now doing this call, right? I made money for something he already did. I didn't do anything extra to get whatever money Nikita paid me right now. Make sense? So I'm making money for something I already did, right? So when you make money for something that you already did, you're not trading time for money, right? Because you already did. So every little bit helps. Okay, so here's a challenge. For you to have a sustainable career, right? You have, you know, like a sustainable career that you're going to be fine no matter what happens, right? You have to have at least 3 independent sources of income. Make sense? You have to have at least 3 independent sources of income. So Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the planet, right? He has something like 96 forms of independent streams of income, right? So if you can get to that, you're going to be very rich, of course, right? Because you have lots of independent. Now, if you have to have 3 forms of 3 independent sources of income, can they all be trading time for money? No, they cannot, right? They cannot be trading time for money. Because if everything that you do is trade time for money, you can only have one. Because as someone said, there's only 24 hours in a day, right? So what you have to do is that you have to do one of them. One thing that you do could be trade time for money. Your job, for example, trade time for money. But everything else, it has to be things that you already did, right? So how do you build a sustainable career money-wise, in terms of money, right? You know, we're talking about how to build a career. First of all, for you to build a sustainable career, you have to have a purpose, right? You have to have a purpose, like a clear purpose, a clear why you do things. When you know why you do things, that's great. Second thing that you need, you have concrete objectives, right? If you don't have concrete objectives, you're not going to get your career going, right? So you have to have clear what's, right? But now you also have to have a good money situation, right? Because if you don't have a good money situation, you're not going to have a sustainable career, right? So you have to have a good money situation. So why we need all that? First, if you're doing a career based on the things that you believe, then be doing it forever, right? Because you believe that, right? If you have clear objectives, you know what to do, right? So no matter what happens, you know your next, you do, right? So your career is going to be sustainable. And enough money. And enough, each person has a different situation, right? Nikita, for example, he had to spend a lot of money on a surgery, right? So maybe for him, sustainable is making lots of money, right? For some other person that lives alone, doesn't have a family, maybe making a little bit of money is sustainable. Each person has a different situation, right? But you have to make money. So the way to do that is what? You use the money that you make on the things that you will do. You use your job. You use whatever your consulting. You use whatever people are paying you to do to build things that you already did, right? So, for example, you do a consulting for a company to implement a solution for a big bank. So you're trading time for money. It's your time there. You're making money to be the consultant or to implement that code. And so once you finish that, or while you're doing that, you write a book about it. Make sense? So you turn the money people are paying you into things that you already did. Okay? And then you make money out of things you already did. Make sense? And so, you go little by little and build your multiple sources of income. Okay? And that's valid for a company as well for yourself. For a company, for example, every year to develop a software for a big bank, for example, you improve your framework, right? You improve your own software. Okay? So you're turning you're getting for something that people want you to do into things that you already did, so you can in the future, right? A software that you sell is making money out of things you already did. Make sense? All right. So let me see here what else. Our code works as we sleep, right? Which allows you to have this crazy salaries. Exactly, right? You're totally right. Who said that? Nikita said that, right? So thanks a lot, Nikita. That's awesome. Money is a great amplifier of your efforts, right? You can do both good and bad things in a much larger scale when you're totally right, Nikita. That's great. So it has to be sustainable by. Oh, I only have a few minutes here, so let me go ahead and answer all the questions here. Okay, so applying all those things here into the things that you want to do, right? So, let me get from the very, very beginning here. If someone has anything else to add and write right now, because we only have minutes. So, Nikita says, my biggest objective is to be geographically free so I can stay close to my family and friends, right? So, so for you to be geographically free, you have to do to make money for things that you already did, Nikita, because then you're going to be free to do anything else. If you don't trade time for money, Nikita, that's very important. If you don't trade time for money, trade time for money in a limited way. Example, what limited way? You can, right? Let's say you do consulting for 4 hours a day, right? You do consulting for 4 hours a day remotely, right? That would be trading time for money, right? But if you make money out of the things you already did, Nikita, then what happens? What happens that you complete your 4 hours of consulting with things that you already did, and so you actually have a lot, because it's not only about being geographically free. You want to visit your family, right? You want to visit your friends, right? So you want to spend time with them. So for you to spend time, you have time. If you make money out of the things you already did, maybe because you have a training that you sell, or you have a mentoring that you sell, or you have some other things that you do, right? Then you have free time. Because let me tell you this, we're talking about money here, but there's something a lot more valuable than money, right? What we call the riches, right? The new riches are not people that have lots of money. The new riches are people that have time plus freedom of time and freedom of location. Okay, the new riches are people that have time and location, right? They have freedom of time and location, so they can go and can work anywhere. They can time. They can have freedom to choose what they're gonna do. If you have freedom, that's actually more valuable than money. So, so that's one to do that. If you want to not only geographically free, but you also want to be time free, you have to invest on things you already did, right? So it's not only about improving your skills, it's about thinking on things that you do. How can you turn that into things that you already did? Okay, make sense? And we're gonna have a conversation, me and you, Nikita. So, so we can talk about the other things when you have a conversation there, right? Let me see here. So Sehi says that I like to contribute to extend developer communities, right? As developers can make the world a better place. So that's great, Sehi, for you to help improve developer communities, right? I'm going to give you one advice that is probably the best advice I can give to everyone here. So how do you do that? How do you make money? How do you find your purpose? How you do all the things that we talk about here, right? That's the last thing I'm going to say here. How you do all of that is, how you can create communities around you, how you can make more money for yourself, how you can get the most amazing jobs, right? How you can do all of that. You can do all of that by sharing. Go share what you know, right? Sharing what you know is the best way to create developer communities, like you're saying, Serhi, is the best way to actually make a world a better place, because you're sharing what you know. Other people we're gonna be better off because of that, right? And not only that, sharing what you know builds trust, right? When you share what you know, people trust you, and when people trust you on what you know, they call you when they need you and not someone else. So that is also the way for you to get the most amazing jobs in the planet. So if you want to have a career that is a sustainable career, right? Your sustainable career has to have a purpose, right? It has to have a purpose. Okay? Not only has to have a purpose, you have to do, you have to have a why, right? Why you do things. But not only that, you have to have goals, right? Clear objectives, right? Clear objectives. So that means your what. You have to know, to have a clear vision of what you do, right? And for you to have a sustainable career, you have to make enough money for it to be sustainable, right? All of those things can be accomplished by sharing and build trust. When you share what you know, you build trust, and then you can do all that. Your why can help people, because the things that you believe can help people by sharing. Your objectives, you can achieve all the objectives you want if you share and you build enough trust around what you do. And you can make a lot of money by sharing, maybe not directly by sharing, but you're going to be hired for the best project, or you can create your own products if you start sharing more. All right. So I'm really at the end here. Let me just say there's a more comment here. Money. You can convert time to money, right? The other way around is much harder and has its limits. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay, yeah, because we all have only 24 hours a day. But if you have money, you can hire people to do the things that you don't want to do, right? So that's a way for you to convert money into time. So that's possible too, okay? Nikita, that's very good. All right. Now, one thing I want to do before I go, I'd like to ask for the organizer there to just share my screen for 1 second, right? Because, yes, thank you very much. Okay, so I want to give you a gift for everyone here, right? If you want to build a sustainable career, I wrote this other book here. It's called the Step-by-Step Plan. It's called The Best Developer Year. It's a step-by-step plan for you to build your best developer year. That book is completely free. Okay? It's completely free. So you come here to this page, you put your name and email, and it's a very short book. The whole idea of this book is to help you ask the right questions so you can find your why, you can find your what, and you can really create a clear objectives for you so you can build the best year ever, right? So if you download that book, it's free right now. You just come here, put your name and email. You get the book for free. There's two things going to happen. one, you're going to get an awesome book for free, right? So that's a good thing. The second thing is that you're going to get my email, right? Because I'm going to send you the email with the book. So you're going to get my personal email. You can just reply to that email and say, hey, Bruno, I want to have a conversation with you, or I need help with that I didn't get a chance to ask. Anything you want, just send me a message, and you can continue this conversation. Okay? So I'm not sure if there is a Q&A after that because I didn't get a link yet. So maybe they're going to ask and tell me if there is a Q&A or not. But I'm available for you. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. Everywhere you can find me as BR Javaman, or you can just download my book and get my personal email and send me a message. And sir, he says, thanks, Bruno. Thank you guys for sharing, for getting in touch. So thanks, everyone. It was awesome to be here with you. Thanks, Devoxx Ukraine, for having me here one more time. And let's go for a Q&A session. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you, Bruno. Thank you for your talk. To all our participants, please download the book from Bruno.